Kappa, play that one beat I like.
You is a motherfucking lie, Neek.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Queen Effect podcast, where we discuss relatable situations that occur in our everyday lives. Our goal is to create a safe space where we can learn, teach, and uplift one another. I'm Shay Monet, the Golden Goddess.
It's your girl Coco.
And it's Madam IJ.
Hey y'all, how's everybody doing today? So I wanted to come to you guys and I wanted to talk today about something that's been affecting me on a personal level. What I want to talk about is heartbreak. I feel like as women, when we go through heartbreak, there is just this idea or this thought that like it's over with, like keep it pushing, keep it moving. And I want to educate some of our fellow men or even fellow women in general that, sometimes when you go through a heartbreak, it's not as simple as just letting it go. One thing that I've encountered is that people expect for you to just act like everything is the same and everything is normal. And it's like the thing that people have to realize is once a heartbreak has happened and has taken place, that person will never be the same because that person now has to pick up the pieces of the way that you've broken them. They now have to put those pieces back together and make themselves whole. And it's just so unfair because these are not pieces that they have broken. These are not pieces that you have broken. Why do I have to fix me because you tore me down? So that's what I want to talk about. And then upon me trying to fix me, it's also like you expect me to be normal and you expect me to be okay and to go back to the way things used to be. And it's like, no, I am not that same girl. So when you ladies encounter a heartbreak, what is that process like for you? How do you get through it? How do you move on? And how do you grow?
Heartbreaks literally feel like the term heartbreak. Like your heart be fucking broken. And it's so devastating. And the ones that hurts the most is the one that you was actually emotionally invested in. Like if you're like so into the connection, you don't want it to end. And it really feels like something is done because it's like you gave this situation life, like by putting your energy into it, by whatever, like it doesn't matter how you showed up for it, you put so much energy into it. So when you go through that heartbreak, you just feel so low. And I feel like it's okay to feel that way. And obviously everybody is not going to get that same reaction. Some of the heartbreaks be like, fuck you, good riddance, like I'm glad like it's done with. But the ones that really be like wrecking your soul are the ones that you was like you really cared about. You really fucked with it. So those situations hurt. And I don't know, I feel like, and again, this is not for everyone. So when I do feel this way, it really count. Like this one really counted and it didn't work. And so it does take a huge blow on you because I feel like you have to like like you said, pick up those pieces and put something together again that you didn't break. Like they broke you. However you want to take that. Like they broke the situation. They made you feel like shit. Well, now what do I do? So I don't know. I feel like nobody wants to be in that situation. Nobody wants to feel that pain or go through that. But when you are going through that type of situation, I think it's very important to actually go through it and feel what you need to feel, because a lot of times, because we don't want to feel that pain again, but because it's also familiar to us, that's what we're going to keep going towards. And we're going to keep like getting ourselves in that type of situation to like, it's kind of like fill that void, like fix it in a sense. And it's like, I feel like every time we experience this with another person, it feels like we're trying to fix it over and over again. And these are different people. So I don't know. I think for me, the heartbreaks that I've been accumulating in life has taught me to really be accountable for why I went through it. A lot of times it's like I don't feel like I really did anything, but there is some part that everyone plays in the situation. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a space that you got to take that L and really turn it to a W, like dead ass. Like, so.
So, when it comes to heartbreaks, have you ever felt like somebody you love so deeply just made you question your own existence and own identity? Like, the type of heartbreaks I experience are as such. And it's to the point where you hurt, yes, that's true, but you're more so disappointed on how that person moved, you know, when it came to you. So it's like, yeah, I might know that you're a good person, but do I really know you though? Like, if this is how you're going to treat me, if breaking my heart means nothing to you, then it's like, why the fuck am I with you? You know, but we question it, but on a day-to-day basis, that's what many of us go through when it comes to relationships. And you would never really know someone. You would never really know if they're going to be there to the end. You would never really know. You really don't. But the thing that keeps us in line with everything when it comes to a relationship is because you love the person or you have an idea of loving the person, and everything that y'all thought y'all were going to be, you know, at some point it just didn't happen. So you can't really beat yourself up about it. You just got to get through it day by day. Um, and that's really what it's all about.
Okay, I was itching to say this because it was like we was in the feeling of like, that raw feeling. But the part of breakups that I cannot stand, I can't stand the breakups with the people that were just in a situation with you. Like it was never meant to even get this far. Like I should not actually give a fuck. Like I should be able to roll with the punches with the situations, but somehow we maintain the situation while still catching feelings. Like what part of the game is that? Those type of breakups are the ones I despise the most because it's like, girl, you gotta really pick yourself up. Like, damn, I played myself. Like, why the fuck I care so much? Those be the ones that just irk my nerves. So
because it's like it was never really meant to go this far. And it's like I chose to deal with you for whatever reason. You probably weren't really on my playing field, like no cockiness, but I chose to give you a chance. And I chose to show you a side of me that I don't show to everybody else. And you still play me to the left. Like, this is crazy. So I definitely get that. And then it's like the loves that you really don't expect to like fall into. Like, this was just supposed to be a friendship or a little fun or a little whoop de whoop, a little yeah, yeah. And that shit turns into something like way more than what it is. And then you find yourself hurt. And then you feel it's like you go through this with a heartbreak. You almost go through like a mourning. And I tell people that mourning is not just for the death of a person. Mourning can be for your feelings. Mourning can be for a relationship. So you go through these stages of mourning and these stages of depression because it's like, damn, how did we even get here? How did I even allow this to really happen to me? Why didn't I see it coming? And then I have the thing of like, letting go. Like I spoke about this before previously in other videos. Like detachment is something I'm beginning to master. But detachment comes with healing from a heartbreak. And I think that's why a lot of us sometimes stay in that cycle of being heartbroken because we don't want to detach and we don't want to let go. We would rather embrace the attachment than to just like let shit go, because then you have to come to the realization that damn, like it was a bunch of red flags that I was just ignoring. Like I was being stupid and I saw these things happening. I saw these things happening and I chose to turn a blind eye. And it's like, well, damn. And now you're going through this heartbreak, right? But in going through this heartbreak, you still got to get up. You still got to take care of your kids. You still got to go to work. You still got to make sure everything's done around your home that has to be done around your home. And depending on the type of person that you are, you have to do it with a, not necessarily a smile on your face, but you can't let everybody know what you got going on. You can't look like what you're going through. And then on top of that, if you decide to stay in the situation, in the relationship, and maintain that, you have to now come with a fresh face and act like nothing ever happened. I'm the type of person, if I tell you I forgive you, I'm not going to keep bringing it up. I don't want to keep talking about it. Let's leave the past in the past. Let's let it be what it is. But if I never truly get over it, now I'm not dealing with it because I'm not talking to you about it. So I'm not dealing with it out loud. But on the inside, I'm breaking down because I'm fighting this battle by myself. And why should I have to?
And why should you have to? Because them motherfuckers then walked away and they left you with that shit. And they're like, oh, well, it just didn't work out. So I don't know that. No, like, what the fuck? Some people really be fumbling the bag and they really be not only fumbling, but kicking it. They be using the back of their feet to kick that shit. And it's like, wow, did this ever meant anything to you? And you could say, oh, I'm being too insensitive, I'm being over dramatic. No, that's how I'll be fucking feeling, whether I'm crying or I'm just like, what the fuck, like whether I'm either or. It's like, did it really mean anything to you? Like, how could you hurt something that I feel like, we're going to have moments, right, where either party could just not be stepping with the best foot forward, and the other party got to be like, you need to chill out. But to end it, it means that it just really went left, and I don't know, it's a little touchy.
But like, let's just take it a step further. Let's say that you decide that you don't want to end it. You want to work on your relationship and you want to try to forgive and move forward. What kills me is people would be like, oh, well, you didn't used to be like this in the beginning. You didn't used to question me. You didn't used to do da 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 da, A, B, and C. But my God, I was whole and I was happy and I was okay. And now I'm broken into pieces. But I love you so much that I'm trying to continue to move forward and I'm trying to make things better and I'm trying to make things right. You shouldn't be complaining about shit. You should be taking it for what it is and you should be grateful for what I'm giving you. And you should be showing me through your actions because now your words mean nothing. I can't even hear your words. All I can hear is your actions. And if the math ain't mathing, then the math ain't mathing. So it's like, yeah, I'm giving you pieces, but at least I'm giving you something because I could have easily walked away. And I know a lot of people are going to listen to this because some of y'all just be judgmental. And it is what it is. A lot of people will say, well, if a person does you wrong, like just walk away or just leave it where it's at. But like, let's be real. It's not always as simple as that. It's not always as simple as just walking away and leaving it where it is. Some of us have really big hearts. And in my situation, a lot of times I'm the light at the end of a lot of people's tunnels. I might be the only positive thing that you have going for you. And I love you so much that I know if I leave you, although you broke me, it's going to break you worse. And I would almost rather silently deal with my pain and put me together to make you feel okay. And that might sound crazy to some of you guys, but that is just my truth. I would rather silently suffer and you be happy than for me to walk away and completely destroy you. So, the heartbreak thing is crazy, y'all.
The heartbreak is crazy till sense come back in, and then every red flag that you ignore finally becomes clear as fucking day. You're like, you know what? I shouldn't really even be caring about you for real. Like, you actually played me. Like, you actually was acting real weird, and I let a lot of shit slide. So that can help you with the heartbreak. If you're trying to figure out solutions to get over the heartbreak, you can do that. And also, like, if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be, and it's a hard bullet to swallow, but sometimes it just is what it is, and some people are just meant to be memories, but there's always like a lesson behind each person. So if it would help you to move forward by thinking of what the lesson is with that situation, that could be another solution as well, because that's life. So you need to find however you like to put yourself back in ease, like however you like to make sure that you're realigned when something kind of shakes you. That's how you need to apply it with the heartbreak, because it's just like everything else. It's a situation that you're going through. That's life. And in life, you have to figure out how are you going to move forward for everything. So however you do that, for that is how you need to figure out how that can apply in your love life, because it is what it is. Like tomorrow is coming. Like you're still stuck on yesterday. Like months has passed, years has passed. They're doing, that's how it be hard for some people. Even me, it took me a while to finally grasp it and hold on to that concept for real, because I didn't want to believe it. How someone can just, how the situation can just be over and they just move on. However long it takes them, they just like moved on. But you, even though you did move on, you still have that peace. Why are you still holding on to that peace? Like we should be able to appreciate what it was, love it for what it was, and let it go. And I think that once we all learn how to master the concept of letting it go, we will be able to like go through this and move forward, because everybody has felt rejection, everybody has felt heartbreak. Like it's never been the end of the world, even though it felt like the end of the world. Like you have still moved on from those other situations that didn't work out. So it's reminding yourself that this is just another phase, and it doesn't have to be a cold thing to think or feel. If that's not how you do things, you can put passion behind that, but the message still stays the same. It is what it is, and you have to move forward. So just figure that shit out, and I feel like it will be a lot easier.
Absolutely.
But sometimes like it's easier said than done though. Like for me, like most of the heartbreaks that I've experienced, it's usually harder to walk away from those people because you are stuck on those memories. And many of us have tendencies to like stay into a relationship because of the idea of what we want it to be or the expectations that we have. And ultimately, it's not always going to be that way. Like, what do you do when you're at your darkest point in your relationship and you just look yourself in the mirror like, well, was it me because I've been the same or I didn't change anything about myself? You start to question like your own identity in that relationship or your place in that relationship. And then it starts to get darker. Heartbreaks for me are like that. Like, just like that. Getting over it is not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say I have the remedy to every heartbreak. No, I do not. Because I've had plenty of them, and each one, it hits different. I will say from every heartbreak, there is a lesson. I had to think to myself, with every heartbreak I had, I learned the lesson, but do I want to learn that lesson again? Hell no. So I try to put myself in situations where I am okay and my heart isn't broken, which means I'm not willing to accept the bare minimum from anyone. And I'm not going to let anybody get close to me to ever try to break my heart again. Like, now I'm on some shit like, hey, what's good for you was good for me. Mirror you, you mirror me. Hey, it is what it is. Because sometimes you got to match energy.
So I think that nobody, number one, nobody has the cure, the remedy to every heartbreak. Every heartbreak is going to be different. You can experience 10 heartbreaks in your life, and I guarantee those 10 heartbreaks are going to be 10 completely different heartbreaks. But I do feel like when you're going through a heartbreak, although it's hard, you have to just remember who you are. And you have to remember your worth and what you bring to the table. And it's like me, like when I'm going through personal things, sometimes I can get like so just overwhelmed with emotion. And I do begin to sometimes question myself, like, well, damn, like, but then when I question myself and I'm like, okay, well, you did X, Y, and Z, you know that you did everything in your power to be what you were supposed to be to that person. I have to, like, you are not the problem. And sometimes it's not even that you think that you're the problem. Sometimes it's really having the strength to be able to walk away. For me, I think my problem is it's like having the understanding of like, why the fuck would you move like that with me when I would never move like that with you? That's, I get hung up on trying to understand because I know I'm not the problem. I know I did everything. I know you're just stupid as fuck. And I know that you just clearly don't see what you have before you, but I need to understand why, you know? So I know I get hung up off of that. Nobody has the cure or the remedy behind it. And it's sad because I feel like a lot of people get destroyed when it comes to heartbreak because you do begin to move in the sense of like, I don't trust no man, I don't trust no woman, like, and people ain't shit. Y'all know, like, my favorite line is love is a scam. Like, you begin to think like that because that's almost, not almost, that's what life has shown you. But if we be honest with ourselves, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to get to it. And we can't give up. We have to keep loving. We have to keep loving wholeheartedly and being compassionate. We cannot allow this world to turn us cruel and cold because that's why there's no very little love left now, because everybody is hurt and everybody allows it to just come in and destroy them and to just taint what love really is about. So I don't know. Nobody has the cure for it. You just have to just roll with the punches and feel so you can heal. Don't be drinking, don't be smoking, don't be getting fucked up so you can't feel it. Don't be staying busy. Don't do the toxic shit that I do and jump from one nigga to the next to the next. Like, really, like, stay still and really feel that shit and cry about it. And I can honestly say I'm speaking through experience because I will literally lock myself in my room for as long as I can lock myself in my room, turn on my music and just cry and just think and just cry and just think, you know? So you gotta feel so that you can heal. That's the only way that you're gonna be able to move forward. You can't run away from those feelings or you're gonna end up back in the same predicament. You're going to end up questioning yourself when you are not the problem. That person that broke your heart is the problem because he was not smart enough to see your value. He was not smart enough to see your worth. He was not smart enough to see who you are as a person and as an individual. So never allow a person to make you feel that way about yourself or to taint your thought process when it comes to love.
And you know what's crazy? When you give yourself that space where you can just sit in it and reflect on like the part that you played in it, right? Because like she said, nobody wants to go through that again. Nobody wants to feel that again, right? If you go back to what I said earlier, you still have to take accountability for the part that you played. It doesn't matter if you was the reason for it to be over or not, you still played a role, right? So when you're able to sit in that and really like think about how you want to move differently for the next one, I really feel like it really helps you, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fine comb through dating. Like, you won't allow yourself to experience so many people that don't fit with what it is that you're trying to deal with. Like, you wouldn't have the time for it anymore because you no longer have that other desire to just at least connect with somebody, save somebody, fall in love with somebody. Like, you won't have that same, drive or that same energy when you're approaching different people, because people are gonna come to you all the time, and it's going to help us to like really just find calm through that shit so you don't have to deal with unnecessary situations.
We hope that you all have enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Queen Effect podcast, and we will catch you on the next episode. Follow us on our social media platforms. You can find us on IG and Twitter under @TheQueenEffect, as well as Facebook and YouTube under The Queen Effect. If there's a specific topic you want us to cover or want to send in an anonymous question for our Dear Sis segment, email us at thequeeneffect@gmail.com.